Okay, guys, thank you for coming. This is our second edition of the Art Chat. And as you know, we've been kind of disconnected with the people and friends and collectors. And we thought this out to have a weekly chat with all of you and just to show you what we've been doing, what you're working on, what it's new. John?
Excellent. Yes, welcome everybody. Let's see, we're going to go to news now.
Yeah, sure. If you give me a second to get to that. It takes many clicks for some reason.
It is. It's absolutely frightening. I saw on the news last night that there's actually a syndrome that people are going through where they're afraid to get back out there. We actually went to a couple of things. Tomorrow is our second Saturday. Every second Saturday, all these studios are open here at Sawyer Yards. So that's in our building, about 60 artists in the whole place. There's about 400 artists. So there's lots to choose from. So tomorrow will be open, and in this building we're open again on third Saturday. So we're a little nervous about who's going to show up, but hopefully we'll have a good day.
You know, judging for what was on the street this morning, I believe people will venture out more this weekend, so we should be ready.
And we're seeing it. People are starting to wander through again.
All right, so it's not all about us. We wandered too this week around Houston, and both Tanya Botello and Farid are friends and artists.
Ahmed Farid.
And they both had, Tanya had her exhibition, the first exhibition this year, and Farid opened his new art gallery in Houston, which happens to be right here in Silver Street Studios, where we have our studio as well.
It happens to be right across the hallway. Ahmed Farid is an Egyptian artist. He is also a movie star. So he is a celebrity in Egypt and has opened a studio right across the hall from us. Amazing. And he's also an art professor, comes from an art family in Egypt. And Tanya is one of the, I guess they're from Brazil, aren't they? And a studio here in Sawyer, in Silver Street Studios as well. So we actually went out to 2 openings in a week, which for us was.
And just as a reminder, let's move on. On March 13 is the end of the exhibition Wabi Sabi here in Silver Street Studios. So you still have time to wander around if you are in Houston. Those are my entries for the show. 2 of them, right top, are from In Motion series. The other one, it's an abstract photograph. And of course, some decay, because now I'm known as a photographer that does a lot of decay images.
So if you have a house that's falling down,
just call me, yes. And these are John's entries. Yeah,
and mine are again, we're going to be taking these down this weekend. So we have them through the weekend if you still wanted to see the exhibition. And then I'll have to find homes for them.
Yes, I hope you have enough room in the studio. So I don't know if this is because the last show or not, but these 2 pieces, it happened that Passage, the image on the left, I featured this one in the first art chat, and it sold last weekend along with the other one, the blue one. There was a high price tag to it. I almost did not believe that it happens. As, you know, you often sell 1 at a time, not 2 in the same time to the same people. And let's move on with what I've been working this week. You know, some time ago, I started a fun series called Miami Mon Amour. And you can go on my website and see the whole series. But I wanted to work something different. So I created 2 sculptural pieces. They are similar, but different in different ways. They don't have yet a title. They're not yet for sale, but I just want to share with you what I've been doing this week.
Excellent.
And those are kind of details of how they look close up.
Those are really cool. I can't believe you did that. That's amazing.
And these are John's. You want to talk about this?
Yeah, I mentioned before that I'm in the Proyectos de Residencia in Mexico City, in the residency program that I'm in. And we're having an art lab. Basically, we've had 10 weeks to create pieces for a show. I don't know that I'll get into the show, but they will decide who will get into the show. But I was really involved more so for the process. And so I've created these pieces. They're 4 large pieces. These are like 6 by 4, so they're 6 feet long. And they're part of the series that I've created called Dreamland. And it's about, it's working with kind of mythological and religious symbology across the world. And so what I'm trying to do is get these as kind of cornerstone pieces for a larger collection, and everything else in the collection is much smaller, and I'll be sharing those with you over time as well. But this is what I've been working on, and we'll have a deadline of next week to actually finish them off. So I'm having a real good time with them.
All right, so we're moving to the 2 pieces of art I want to feature in this show. I lost you for a second. I don't know why I can't see your faces. How about this?
We're here.
So the 2 photographs I want to share with you this time are called City People, and this is from the In Motion series. And the other one, it's a new series I've been working during last year during the COVID time at home. And it's called, it's called Unwritten. Yes, I'm going to go right there.
Okay. There they are.
But let's talk about City People. As I said, is from a collection called In Motion. And how did it started? You know, in 2015, I moved to Houston. I immigrated to Houston, and it was very hard for me to connect with the city. And I was thinking, how would I combine this experience of mine with art? So I started a project called, at that time, Impressions. And it's I'm going to show it to you right now. It's very architectural. And I try to create this idea of disconnection. It's not quite an abstract type of photography, because you do see the structures and the buildings around, but it's this idea that yes, they are close to me. I'm here, but I can't connect with anything. So this was the first idea, and then. After I finished this one, I moved straight into the next idea that is in motion, and it's more contrasty, more colorful, a little more happier, and there's street life that is going on, and this is how I started this one.
It's interesting.
City People was the first that I created in this series, and it's right here downtown Houston, actually. And I think it happened while a game near Toyota Center was off, and I was right there, you know, painting with a camera. John, you want it?
No, I was just going to say that experience of being in a foreign country and new to the country and kind of an immigrant. And the things that should make sense, the things that you should connect to, you don't necessarily. You know, things I remember when I was in Spain, answering the phone was terrifying for me because I wasn't quite sure what would happen.
Yes, yes.
And I was little clues.
It was that time when I was afraid to drive, because I come from a place that do not have this much traffic, you know, or anyway, everything was very frightening at that point in time. And this is how this series came.
I love that.
What I have some notes here.
What type of camera are you using, Bogdan?
Well, I use a Nikon. I'm a Nikon sort of guy, and not because I think a camera is better than a brand is better than the other one. It's just because you buy a Nikon and then you buy 10 lenses to match it, and then down the road you cannot change it because it's too expensive. You just have to stick with what you have. So moving along with the next one, which is a very new series, it's called Unwritten. It's not yet completed. I'm still working on it, and let's see. This one is the actually image I want to feature in this show. And it's called Archetype. And all the images in this series have a literary term, because the idea is, you know how you play with words? This is how I've seen these strips of paper waving and taking their own form. And I found the parallel with these literary terms. And I thought that would be perfect. Somebody is coming here. Just a second. Somebody wants in. And that is Alexandra.
Hi, Alexandra.
Welcome, Alexandra.
Welcome.
And here we are. This is a close-up of the same archetype. And I'm going to show you briefly some other images in this series. Alliteration, epistrophe, and intertextuality. You know, they are very geometrical, but yet very organic and very soft in a way.
I love the play of light.
And I really like, you know, this how paper unfolds, how it takes their own shapes, and it's a, you know, the series, it's a collaboration with what the paper does and how light is projected on. So it creates different shades and different, how do you call that, texture.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any questions? We're kind of reaching the halfway point in here. I don't want to waste everybody's time.
We passed the halfway point.
I don't want to waste everybody's time. I know you guys are on the clock, but
Bogdan, did
yes.
you say the series is not yet? Is that what you meant? The series,
right? The series. This is not completed. It's. I've done it in my spare times when I find quiet moments in my life, because it requires a certain. It's not just pointing the camera on an object. You do have to create and cut the paper and play with the paper and see where it goes. And if it goes the right way, you take the camera and take a light and move it and photograph, explore basically. And sometimes you do, and I have a lot of these, you just do it and it doesn't go anywhere. So you're gonna have to start again until you're pleased with the result.
So just curious, when you feel it is completed, will you unveil it like at a second Saturday or an event? Or?
Yeah, probably I'm going to, we have a space here in Silver Steel Studios that is the artist space, and I'm probably going to book it and make an official unfolding.
An opening.
Thank you.
Bogdan, we're about at 20 minutes in.
Okay, I think I'm done with my part. I think
that was a hint.
Yeah. It's your turn now.
Okay, can you bring up the screen?
Yes.
I just want to talk about two of my pieces. The first one is called Primavera. It's an abstract, which is what I spend most of my time doing. I love this painting. It's 36 by 36. You can see it behind me when this, I don't know what this, when the screen share goes off. So it's a decent sized painting. And it was not intended to be a garden, but I think that's what I see in it. And again, I hate to give titles to abstract pieces because instantly you start to interpret which needs no interpretation. But what I see is a fence in a garden, and I see a little guy in the top right in a blue suit. But someone else came in and said, "Oh, look at the beautiful blue bird in the top corner." It's like, great, that's what it is to you. So anyway, I love this piece. It reminds me of spring. And now that springtime has come to Houston, I see flowers starting on trees. I saw 2 lizards having sex. So apparently spring is here. You want to move?
I love this abstract. It gives you a lot of room for interpretations.
And it's just a feel-good piece. I think it's really very positive. And not all my work is.
And can you ship this anywhere in the world?
Oh, sure, absolutely. It just have to be boxed up.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very light because it's not framed. But it's the 2-inch canvas, so it's got some depth to it. And I wanted to share Johnny. In fact, we ended up talking about Johnny last night at my art lab. I started a program. Well, it was kind of an activity where you do a picture a day for 100 days, and you just do something every single day. And within a couple of weeks in, I just started doing faces, and I've had more fun. Johnny was one of my favorites, and I've had more fun doing these faces than I can explain. I don't quite know what to do with them now that I've got them, but I keep making them. My real thought was I'm also spent 30 years as a librarian and love to write children's stories. And so my thought was to get better at drawings, to create cartoon images, to create for a children's book. And that's kind of where I'm headed with them. Johnny is one of my favorites. I did a lot of the heads on actual pages from books. There's Mary. And they actually have text behind them. And I find that really interesting. And I'll probably do much more of those. What I like about Johnny is, well, I like Johnny so much. In fact, I don't know if you've got me on screen. Can they see me?
I will switch.
Here he is full size. It's quite small because an artist friend of mine told me, who also did the 100-day project, that at the end of that project, you have 100 things you have to deal with. So I made them all the same size so that I could sell them. And that's Johnny. What I've done with Johnny is I've actually started making fine art prints. And the only ones I've done have been the faces. So actually, this is an 8x10 of Johnny that is a gleam.
And it's photographed by me and printed by you on fine art paper.
Right. And actually, this is probably better archivally than the original, because the original is an old piece of book page that is high acidity. But this is on neutral paper. It's archival. So actually there, I think maybe the print might be better than the original. But those are the 2 things I wanted to share with you guys today.
Now, I forgot, can I mention that you have some of these faces in a zine?
Yeah, we actually created a zine with Mary.
Let me pick it up.
In there as well. He's going to grab it. It's one of my attempts at a children's book before the children's books that we've actually got for sale on Amazon, and that Bogdan has done the illustrations for. But there's Mary's Secret.
And there it is.
Mary is a lovely lady who is very, very well achieved. She can do anything. She's an amazing girl. And then you want to go to Mary's Secret. Bogdan, you want to reveal the secret?
Oh.
She's subconscious because she's got some ugly feet. Poor Mary. And then, but she solves it because she just wears boots and she gets on with her life. I like Mary.
Anyway, those are available, I think, on your website. If you guys want to grab one, they're like
Yeah, they're on Etsy as well. The thing about
$10.
zines that we stopped the zines because they stopped having the fairs, but there are fairs all over the country for people who are producing zines, and some of them are pretty amazing. I really enjoyed doing those. And we'll do more.
You know, I forgot to mention that the pictures I showed earlier on City People, that it's a 36 by 36, which is a large photograph printed on
It's the same size as this.
printed on canvas, not just paper. So that it's yeah, and it looks beautiful. Actually, it's behind me. I keep forgetting.
That's it, on the wall.
I have so many things to think about it. It's right there. And
Can I ask a few questions?
yes.
Sure.
Does the first one is, do you carefully select the text because it's symbolic or somehow related to your series? Is there anything actually trying to be communicated through the text that's behind it? And then the second question is, are y'all familiar with Kelly Devine's pieces that have that technique with the text behind some of her creatures?
No, I've not seen them, but some people, I've seen others do similar things. I just found that I have these incredibly vintage books that are falling apart. And these all of these were done on a Latin textbook. And I chose that specifically, not only the vintage paper really, really treats the ink and the watercolor beautifully. I love the way it responds to that. But I chose that so that no one, unless they speak Latin fluently, would really attempt to read it. I didn't want it to be about the words. I just wanted there to be a subtext there, literally.
Where did you find these books?
I've had them for years. You know, when I was 20, I thought I would one day learn Latin, and I'm now 61 and kind of gave that up. Not going to start, but they have aged beautifully, that paper. The problem with it is it's not archival, so it will probably continue to age if not treated. But I just have a ball. I think it's a really interesting look. And I use words in language a lot in my art, probably because of my background in libraries and literature.
I think next time you should show the one with words in Spanish. That's one of my favorite.
Oh, that's the poem by Antonio Machado. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because, well, we'll talk about it when we show it. It wasn't intended to be as prominent as it became. When you put varnish on things, undercoats pop up, but you're like, oh, wow.
Lynn, Greg, Alexandra, any other questions?
I'm just impressed. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm so impressed that both of you have managed to just delve in the arts and go each your own way and flourish. It's just amazing.
It's not a very smooth road, but you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And we came home basically to take care of mom and dad. And so this was a chance to start a new company and start doing what we always wanted to do. Not that we didn't love what we were doing in Moscow, but yeah.
Is this the first time you're painting, John?
No, I've been painting since college, but I don't know if this will ring true for anyone. My father informed me rather early that he was not going to fund an art career for college. So I went into teaching and, then libraries, and you get busy and 30 years disappears. So I would always play with things in the background. I painted quite a lot in college.
I wish I would have started this career a lot earlier.
Oh yeah.
But you're afraid because other tells you all the time that, artists are, always poor, and what would you do? And here I am. You know what? I love it. I can make this a career.
Mhm.
And it's happening. You're selling. He's still doing quite a lot of the video production and photography commercially, but even that's slowed down to a trickle during COVID. We'll see how much of that comes back.
And you know, I have that need of leave the commercial part and people's requests away and just focus of the things I want and I like. I don't always 24 hours of my life, you know, be afraid, what if such and such doesn't like the work I do? Well, I have to create my own because this is my vision.
Do you two share a studio?
We did, and then this one became available across the hallway, and mine has a door to the outside. So we grabbed that. We each have a studio, so we're spending lots of money. But the beauty of mine is that we can have events in the evening now, once the building is closed. So we can have our own events. But then, of course, COVID stopped that. So hopefully we'll be able to start doing evening events very soon.
And the main thing we kind of find a second space was, you know, when you create artwork, you're gonna need a space to store them.
Yeah.
And we got at a point that we had so much stuff in the studio that visitor could not connect with anything. So we needed to spread out a little and clean up a little.
Well, Don, it's 11:30.
It's 11:30 and it's the end of our show. We don't want to go over this time, and we want to thank you all for being here and supporting us. It's great to see you all. It's good to see you, Lynn. Alexandra, nice to meet you.
Alexandra, you're in San Francisco?
Yeah, and I also have a Romanian roommate who is a photographer. Which
Oh,
I
how
think
lovely.
is hilarious because his name is Bogdan.
Oh,
As they do.
Ryan, thank you for your support, as always. And Greg, thank you for being here and supporting us. It's great to have you.
I enjoy always learning from you guys. Thank you.
Thanks. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you very much. It's lovely. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.